Let's go!
Tonight on Celebrity Treasure Island. Take 8 hungry treasure hunters, 1 chocolate cake.
I feel like it's my birthday.
And watch how willing they are to perform.
I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky.
In the hope that this precious food will be theirs.
And all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by.
But there's only ever one winner.
It's amazing the simple things that make you happy when you're starving.
And a devastated loser on this island.
It's got to be right in front of us, man.
Well, let's just place it out and do it. Come on.
But with the ultimate prize clearly in their sights, the remaining 8 celebrities continue their fierce battle, knowing that there will be just one left standing at the end.
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
Tonight, again, 2 players will pack their bags and be gone for good.
Anthony Ray may go tonight. He's been hanging in by the skin of his teeth.
As elimination cuts the survivors down to 6.
It's not easy knowing that all that hard work, all that desperation to be the one left in the end could so easily be destroyed by one bad elimination test. Most of the celebrities who are still on the island will never see the treasure because this show has a habit of producing just one winner. It's how hard they'll fight to be that one that makes it interesting. So let's take a look and see who the survivors are so far on Treasure Island.
North Camp's mother figure is changing rooms designer Sally Ridge. Their motivator and entertainer is radio and television host Stacey Daniels. The dominant male in this tribe is actor Anthony Ray Parker. And keeping the house in order is changing rooms builder Andy Dye.
And that's the North Camp, who currently hold 4 pieces of the treasure map. And down in the South Camp are
model Nikki Watson, who at 23 is the youngest on the island. Actor and South Camp's resident cook Katrina Hobbs. Machete-wielding former All Black Frank Bunce. And the island's very own MacGyver, television presenter and builder John Cox. That makes up the team who live at the south end of the island.
Last week, our celebrities showed that competition combined with hunger can have very angry consequences. That anger nearly turned nasty in the last challenge when Erica claimed the hole ahead of Coxie. But the video footage clearly showed it should have been Coxie's. He was there first to claim it for the South, and the North had no right to it. So tonight, will justice finally be done, or will anger and frustration rear their ugly heads again? One thing's for sure, things will never quite be the same on Celebrity Treasure Island.
Watch out for the text question in tonight's Celebrity Treasure Island and be in to win a trip for 6 to a Treasure Island with D-Juice and Telecom Mobile.
It is the morning after a major battle. All the celebrities are aware that the fight which followed yesterday's challenge should never have happened. There's a feeling of depression, a desire to be alone, a need to make excuses, a need to justify what happened.
I think quite possibly that, well, certainly all the elements and what we're under here, that people are going to react a little differently to what they would at home with a full belly, you know. We're not eating well, so things can be blown up, I suppose, a little bit bigger than they really are. So really, I think everyone's just got to shake hands and move on.
No way! No way! She got here before you did! Get out of here!
It's the extremities of this situation coming out in people's behaviour.
I think he's a little bit embarrassed by what he did now, purely because that's not him to do stuff like that. It's actually quite disappointing. It wasn't meant to be like this, and we've since been told that Coxie actually got there before Erica, so I think we were quite lucky to get away with what we got away with.
The situation is created and then people jump in, and I'm definitely not saying that it's all Southside's fault. Although, of course, we're all ratty, we're all tired, we're all hungry, you just got to keep it off that edge, because that was too much of an edge. That had us all counting to 10 before we spoke.
Once the old 4 explosions had gone off, she was mayhem. We had no idea what we were doing, really. It's just diving on holes and...
Okay, so I got a little over-emotional. You know, I blame it on the food, lack of. Hunger's going to do that to you. But I know I got to that hole first. Erica may have thought she did, and for her and her team to carry on afterwards the way they did, you know, that was just a bit over the top.
It could have so easily been a lot worse with Coxie and Anthony Ray. I really think that was quite a risky situation, actually.
I thought Coxie handled it extremely well because he just backed away. You know, the last thing you want to do is as they did, almost come to blows.
They probably went back and thought about it, and as we thought about it too, and we realised, you know, it was mate against mate, and there's just wasn't necessary for there to be any angst like that. I don't want to be part of it anymore. I don't think it's sort of. I'm so over it. I want to go.
It was a really horrible situation, but the best thing we can do is put that behind us and just let bygones be bygones, get on, and win at the next challenge.
Hunger and harsh living conditions have begun to expose all the celebrities' weaknesses. They are now open about their desire to get out of this hell and be reunited with their loved ones, in some cases with their precious children.
I don't even think I've ever been through a day without talking to them, and they must be wondering where their mummy's gone. They must have thought I've vanished off the face of the earth. They're almost like my comfort zone. They're so consistent, and they're just not judgmental, and it's quite weird. I miss their little voices, and I miss their little mummies, I love you, and it's almost kind of heart-wrenching. I really miss my babies, big time.
At the other end of the island, what started out as a fairy tale adventure is also wearing a bit thin.
I think I'm at the end of my tether. I'm tired. Obviously, my profession requires me to not have too many scratches and bumps and bruises and what have you, and so I'm kind of thinking about that as well, which is a real girly thing, but
I kind of feel like I'm part of a science experiment to see how long you can cope with things and how well you'll cope with things. So it's kind of funny. Oh, it's so nice.
It's the home comforts that are missed the most. Simple things like hot water on tap, rather than a solar shower.
Nikki brought this, and this is one of the best luxury items we've got, because it's such a nice treat to have a warm shower. Oh, it's lovely.
But the man at the centre of the team's bitter conflict is putting on a brave face. Coxie has decided that the only way to teach their rivals a lesson is to take them out in the day's treasure hunt. He's preparing early, preparing to outsmart his rivals.
So once you know where north is and where the sun is, you know where you are on the island. All day. One way to do this is with a leaf, a bit of water, and a hair clip. It's not the sort of thing you carry around in your pocket as a compass, but, you know, once you set yourself up in an environment, you know where north is, you can pretty much tell with the sun as well where it comes up and stuff, but where it's pointing now is pretty much due north when it's floating in the middle.
But even before Coxie gets to put his makeshift compass to the test, there's an all too familiar warning.
Gong time! All right, man, it's on. It's time to rock and roll.
Usually the gong means a trading meeting, but South Camp have nothing left to trade. Their food stores are totally depleted. Meeting their food-rich rivals would only make the brittle relationship worse. But there is a surprise in store on the main beach, a treat they would die for. One large chocolate cake dripping in icing.
Oh, wow. I feel like it's my birthday. I feel like it's my birthday. All I need is a candle.
Wow, that just reminds me of Mum popping around when it's my birthday, a couple of candles in there, and it's always very tasty, and I just wanted to get my fangs into it.
It looked fantastic. It was, I could have pounced on it right away.
I could eat the whole,
couldn't eat it whole.
and the hole it's in. It's a good cake.
I could have almost dived into the middle of it, actually. It looks so good.
But of course, it's not going to be as simple as sitting down and cutting yourself a slice. There are only 4 chairs, a sure sign that one team will eat, one will not.
As you can see, there's a cake up for grabs. Now, in order for your team to win this delicious, rich chocolate cake, you need to nominate one person in your team to recite this poem. Now, the team that recites most of the poem word perfectly wins the cake. You've got 15 minutes to learn the poems. Here they are.
Oh, not this
Go now.
The poem they will compete to recite accurately is, appropriately enough, Sea Fever by John Masefield.
Stacey is our nominee.
Good memory.
Chosen Katrina because she's an actress, and they do this stuff daily.
The wheels kick and there's something's shaking. And the white sail's shaking. Okay, from the top.
I was definitely nervous going up against Katrina. I mean, she's an actor. That's what she does for a job. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by.
This will be a major sugar hit for one team. All the pressure will be on Stacey for the north and Katrina for the south. There will be no prompting. They are on their own.
At this stage of the game, our treasure hunters need every bit of energy they can get, because coming up
is a hard day's treasure hunting that's going to be particularly harsh for the team that misses out on breakfast, because one member lets them down.
And the seagulls crying.
There's a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied.
Keep watching tonight's show and answer this question to be in to win a trip for 6 to a treasure island with D-Juice and Telecom Mobile. Text your answer to 2010.
The two teams of hungry treasure hunters have a major task in front of them. At stake is this chocolate cake, but first one member must recite a 3-verse poem, word perfect.
no conferring with your teammates. North team, you can start first.
I'm glad that I went first, because the thing is, if the other person does well, you start psyching out thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to do better than that. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. All I wanted to do was remember the first line. I knew as long as I remembered the first line, everything would be okay. And once I got my stupid little hand signals going on, it would be all right. And the wheels kick and the wind's song and the white sails shaking and a grey mist on the sea's face and a grey dawn breaking. I must down to the seas again for the call of the running tide.
When I saw Stacey do her poem, I thought she was fantastic, and she had a really, really good idea how to remember them by pointing at various things, which I thought was great.
And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the blown spume and the seagulls crying. I must down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life is the seas call and the whales call and the seagulls crying.
Stacey has completed 2 of the 3 verses. North can taste victory.
She's onto it, and memorising that poem today, mate, that was fantastic. She learnt that in 15 minutes, and that is a pretty wicked skill to have, just to just do that and do it so quick. That was awesome.
It's now the turn of South Team's actress, Katrina Hobbs.
I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick, and the wind song, and the white sails are shaking.
Just the first verse, and that chocolate cake is melting away.
My brain's not functioning as quickly as, well, I'd hope it normally would. And I just couldn't remember. I just couldn't remember the poem at all. I was standing there going, blank, massive blank spaces. And of course at work they just go, take 2, you know, which I really wanted to do, but I couldn't. And the grey mist on the sea's face, and the grey dawn is breaking. I must down to the seas again, to the lonely sea. Oh, no. I must down to the seas again, to the call of the running tide. There's a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied.
It's obvious that Katrina is struggling. She's already recited some of the lines incorrectly, but she's just too scared to give up. Too scared of the consequences for her hungry team.
And all I ask is a piece of chocolate cake. I'm so sorry.
You did well.
Thanks.
My brain's gone because we've got no food.
North team, you have the cake.
Let me explain to you what pre-dessert is, okay? Just in case you're not fully understanding what the heck are these guys going on about. Pre-dessert is when you can have your dessert before your main course. Pre-dessert. Can you imagine it?
When rivalries are bitter, victory is all that sweeter. Not even a taste for the South. They can only turn and walk away again.
Yeah.
Just bite it. Go on, bite it. Yeah!
Hey, you're dribbling.
That's all right. Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Welcome.
Man, I love that cake. That cake was so good. It was so good.
It was awesome. It all gave us a burst of energy, and I think just to sit down and scoff out on something like that, and Anthony Ray did it in such a way that it cheered us all up. Stuffing that huge piece of cake into his mouth, it was quite spectacular.
It was as tasty and as beautiful as it looked.
South team are left to wonder what that cake might have done for mind and body.
Well, see these pants? This is how much I want cake. I have to wear them actually doubled over like this now. And I figure with a couple of pieces of that cake, I could pack these out again. But, yeah, well.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's all right, man.
I'm really sorry. I felt terrible. But I don't think they're too angry. They're still talking to me, which is all good.
Yeah, we were all gutted when we lost, but because we lost, we hate losing. But it's kind of hard because I think it puts pressure on the one person that lost it for us. And to Katrina, I mean, she tried her best, and she's fuzzy too. No way I could have remembered half of what she remembered.
Man, that was torture. Because I kept looking at the cake while I was reciting the poem, thinking, hungry, hungry, hungry. I need them. Oh, be quiet.
What South team don't need to hear is the jubilant cries of their rivals. Their losing streak continues.
There seems to be no better time for the South team to cut their losses and to head back to camp to prepare for the day's treasure hunt. As for the North team, perhaps it's time they remembered that when things get too easy, there's always the danger that you'll find yourself suddenly on the back foot. Suddenly beaten because you were too busy celebrating to notice what was really going on.
My belly was full and life was good, and then flying past us was the South team.
See, that's what happens if you get caught up in the glow of victory.
If the 4 celebrities in the South team are to eat at all today, then they need to win the treasure hunt. And again, that will start with a message in a bottle.
Yeah, it's not so good, is it?
No, it's not.
Found it!
Yeah.
Everybody stop looking!
This clue is their only hope.
By Rivals Camp.
There once was a storm. Dry or not, it's where you should be. What? Up you must go.
Till there comes a fork. Nothing more.
And nothing more.
The text clue should read, by Rivals Camp there once was a stream. Dry or not, it's where you should be. Up you must go till there comes a fork. Go west pace 35 and nothing more. Look up high and you will discover that one must climb for this prize to uncover. The South team need to head up the dry riverbed behind the North camp till they come to a fork in the path. Then go west for 35 paces and look for something they'll need to climb up to. They waste no time setting off up the coast, but weighed down by that rich chocolate cake, their northern rivals are caught napping.
We were so stoked when we won that chocolate cake. Here we were sitting around at camp thinking, yeah, we won this cake, absolutely fizz. Next minute the South team comes sprinting past and we were like, what are they doing?
So there I was, just enjoying myself, just thinking about the chocolate cake I'd just eaten. My belly was full and life was good, and then flying past us was the South team.
We were running past their camp and they were all lying around the campsite, obviously full of chocolate cake, but it was like, come on guys, we're on a treasure hunt.
See, that's what happens if you get caught up in the glow of victory for a bit too long. You just go, yeah, chocolate cake, chocolate cake.
That was just a lesson for us all that we need to always be alert, because you never know when the bottle's going to wash up on shore. So you can't be taking R&Rs in the middle of the day, although it was nice right after a huge cake.
Oh, Jingos. Here it is!
Stacey spies their bottle, but North now know they're on the back foot.
Damn!
North side, beside home, The 1C was a storm. There once was a storm.
There once was a storm. Dry
or not,
it is where you should be.
Should be.
The text clue should read, nestled beside home, there once was a stream. Dry or not, it is where you should be. Up you must go till there comes a fork. Go east past 35 and nothing more. Look underground and you will discover that one must dig for this prize to uncover. So North Team should also head up the dry riverbed, but they have more problems than having to run on full stomachs to catch their rivals.
I gotta wrap my ankle. I can't go without my ankle being naked, okay?
I'm really worried about Anthony Ray's ankle. I think that it's giving him a lot more problem than we realise. And you know, when you've got parts of you that are sore and hurting, it doesn't do anything for your concentration.
I mean, it's no secret that my ankle is giving me a little bit of drama. Yeah. Ankle's kicking my butt. Let's just pick up our spirits. Don't worry about how much of a gap, how much of a lead they have on us, and let's just pick up the pace. We'll catch them in the long run. Let's go. Let's go, team.
North 2 head up the dry riverbed looking for a fork, but South have a head start.
Oh, fork. Okay. Fork. West, and that'll be northwest. Okay, so we go that way.
Yeah, that's west.
You will discover
35 and nothing more.
that one must climb for this prize to uncover.
But Coxie cannot see the sun to get his compass bearings.
1, 2, 3.
South choose the wrong fork, a decision that will cause some of them to question whether they should be here at all, whether they have anything left to prove.
I know everybody probably sort of thought, you know, she's a model, blah, 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 she'll be ditzy and probably won't last 5 minutes, and I feel like I've proved myself, so I think, you know, that's another reason why I'm sort of quite ready to go.
Despite Anthony's ankle trouble, the North are now close behind. South's head start has evaporated.
Now, which way is east?
East.
That way.
That way?
Here.
Or is that north?
Well, let's go west now.
East.
It's basically through here. There may be a track going through there. You ready, everyone?
That's east.
30.
Okay, now this is east. This is where we need to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says go east.
Okay, let's go.
But North 2 have taken the wrong fork.
Buried, right?
Look underground.
What have we got underground?
Where does it say that it's buried? Yeah.
It says look underground and you will discover.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, man, I'm getting frustrated here. I'm getting really frustrated.
Take a deep breath. Okay, should we go back and count it out again?
Yeah.
Do we need to count it again?
Yeah, I
do we
reckon
need?
we
I mean,
should.
do we need to look at the map again, or?
I think we all got a little bit grumpy then. We kind of walked back and forth and back and forth.
It's got to be right in front of us,
Okay,
man.
well, let's just pace it out and do it. Come on.
Here we go. Okay.
And I'll be real upset if we walk right by it.
Even though that's true east, perhaps they just meant take the eastern fork. Can we try again along the eastern fork?
Both teams have their bearings wrong.
If this is 35 paces, there's all these trees we've looked up, there's nothing there.
Must be on the wrong track.
Must be on the wrong track, it must be that one. But they're kind of quite parallel to each other, actually. So, let's take the other one.
Okay.
I thought I had that north, south, east, west thing sus, but, you know, you get into that thick undergrowth and your bearings can be shot to pieces. It's the first time I think I've let the team down, and it had to be the time when it lost us the lead.
North, west. There's more in the bush.
South have lost the lead, but are now on the right track, while North have retraced their steps, searching for anything they may have missed.
There it is, I found it. It's a big box.
Oh,
Good enough for me.
let's not waste any time. Let's just pop this puppy open.
Yeah, give us
Okay.
pop.
Hey! Wow. A musket.
Wicked.
Oh, man.
The box contains a musket, with their next clue in the barrel.
Okay. Oh, you might want to
Up high it hangs from northwest cliff. One is long to float, to fly,
One is-
but only if a height is scored. Yeah, a height is scored where you free.
The text message reads, "Up high it hangs from northwest cliff. One is longing to fall, but only if. A hit is scored when you fire forth. Take care for all your bounty's worth."
Let's go, come on, let's go the other team around
Okay.
under us.
Which way are we going to go to there?
The teams must make their way around the rocks to a cliff on the northwest shore and look up high for their next clue. North have taken the lead. South are still searching. There's a large wooden box strung up high in a tree, and no argument about who will get it down.
Oh, be careful, Coxie. Hopefully not dying.
Boy.
John Cox, the builder from Thames, shows yet again why he's the most valuable person on Treasure Island.
All right, you okay?
Well done, Coxie. Yes. Excellent. Well done.
They now have a chance to catch up, so it's straight into the box and the clue it holds.
Whoa.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
It's a gun.
A gun?
And another clue.
The clue is the same as North Team's.
From Northwest Cliff.
But this morning's lead is now all gone. Their northern rivals have deciphered their clue and are well on their way.
I saw the other team and they were like fiddling trying to open their box. I was like, ha ha, we've opened ours. And then it was just like full steam ahead. We just went for it, man.
We thought we were first to find the clue because we hadn't heard from the other team, and if they find something, you hear about it. We hadn't even got the clue solved, and there they go, flying past us, so we were well behind.
I was totally surprised that we came running out of the creek first. I have no idea what the other camp were doing, but I was fully expecting Frank Bunce to overtake me on the outside.
Again, the treasure hunt has become a race between a starving South team and a group with stomachs full of chocolate cake. It's survival of the fastest and the fittest.
Treasure Island has a way of evening the score and bringing even the most self-satisfied back down to earth. Maybe it's time the North team found out that when you're in the lead, you need to watch carefully for what's coming up behind.
I mean, well, then it's 50-50 shot, isn't it, as to whether you're going to get the right box or not. And I must admit, we have had some pretty good luck over the last few days.
It's amazing the simple things that make you happy when you're starving.
I feel quite important now. Okay.
I'm so glad we asked you to do it.
South team are in hot pursuit of their rivals, heading for a cliff on the northwest shore. But they have got their work cut out, because this is, for the first time, one very determined North team.
It's amazing just how hard you actually go just to win that cup of rice or that cup of flour or whatever. It's quite bizarre that we go to such extreme lengths to get that cup of rice. It's quite freaky. And having Anthony on our team, who's quite a large boy, you feel like you've got to get there even quicker because he needs a lot of food.
Up high it hangs from Northwest Cliff. We're looking up high.
Just like what we talked about. Keep it pumping, okay? Looking good.
There's nothing up here yet.
Looking good.
Nothing up here yet.
Two sacks are hanging from a tree, high up on the rocky cliff.
Let's go, guys, into school. Andy, there's your gunpowder, baby, right there.
That's where it is.
South arrive second. They will again be left with their rivals' dregs.
Oh, they're over there.
Well, that makes our choice easy.
Yeah.
Because they shoot one and we get the other one.
Up high it hangs from Northwest Cliff. One is long to float, but only if a height is scored or scored.
A height is scaled.
Height
A hit is scored.
You gotta shoot it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Good job, Stace.
Yeah. Okay, which one
Good
are we
job.
gonna hit? Aim for the left.
Hey, you know what?
I got a gut
Hey,
feeling.
you know what I always say? You can't go wrong with right.
Yeah. I agree
Okay.
with Anthony.
The gunpowder is poured down the barrel of the musket and rammed tight with a steel rod. While Andy prepares to shoot, his rivals make plans.
Frankie, you got to shoot. I can't see, mate.
Yeah, I think you might want to shoot. Is that right?
You should be able to line them up in the All Blacks, mate. Line them up here.
I feel quite important now. Okay.
I'm so glad we asked you to do it.
Okay, wish me luck.
Good luck, honey.
All right, look, big fella.
Right over north.
Andy's aiming for the sack on the right. It's a direct hit.
Good shot!
Oh! Good shot. Good
The fire burns through the rope and the sack falls to the ground.
Let's grab it.
The sack is retrieved. North are riding high.
Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. What do we got? Woo! I can't believe it.
Hey, this
Great
boat's still on
shot.
fire.
Great shot. Great shot.
I can't believe it. Hang on, hang on, hang on. You get your hands burnt.
poo stinky.
Like an old wedgie bar, the fire.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh no. Oh, what is
Close.
That's it.
But there is no food, no piece of the map. All they find is some old pirate's clothes. North have made the wrong choice, shot down the wrong sack.
You did need a new pair of underwear. I mean, well, that is 50-50 shot, isn't it, as to whether you're going to get the right box or not. And I must admit, we have had some pretty good luck over the last few days. So, you know, luck goes around, and that's just part of it. That's just what happens. We did get here first, though, and we did get to make the choice. So we've got to live with our choice.
We do.
Yeah. So in that sense, we've won.
Let's get home.
Okay.
North must pass their competitors, who are still unaware that the sack hanging in the tree must be the food prize.
With them choosing the box today, it just took all the pressure off us. We kind of went, oh well, whatever. You know, you don't have any of the nerves of, oh my goodness, what if we pick the wrong one? So it was great.
Without having to face the stress of that choice, the South are now just keen to see what's in the sack.
Aim fire?
Well, I'm ready.
There is that dreaded moment again, not knowing if this sack will lead to a feast or a famine.
Oh,
Frankie, Frankie, let's get that tree. Yeah.
Right.
South are at a point where they have no food at all. This sack is everything to them.
Shall we open it?
We want to do it.
Oh, it's got to be the food. Oh, please be the food. When I saw that there were marshmallows and huge quantities of marshmallows in that box, I just thought heaven is mine. It's amazing the simple things that make you happy when you're starving. Oh! That's what we want.
And there is even more, a treasured piece of the map that will help one of the celebrities eventually dig up $20,000 for Youthline.
It felt really good to get a piece of the map. I mean, that was a win, actually. I can see when they do lose the race and they still get the treasure, it gives you a bit of a lift. I felt a little bit higher after that.
Oh, mate, how many times have we thought about marshmallows around that fire? Oh.
Hungry as South Team are, they decide on a game of tactics. They will play the repentant nice guys, offer up some marshmallows and see if North fall for it.
Meeting, Stace. Is it the goal? Meeting, babe.
Yeah.
It's time to trade. South Team will pretend that all animosity is gone, that yesterday's violent argument is forgotten, that they are here to offer gifts.
Okay. Well, we called this meeting because we really appreciated the offer of goodwill that you gave us the other day, and we just got a whole lot of marshmallows, so we wanted to give them to you.
Oh.
We wanted to give you this because we didn't have anything to give you the other day.
Oh, that's great. Oh, hey, look, we really appreciate the offer and the gesture, and we're gonna use these marshmallows. They'll come in handy.
We got diddly squat from our bounty, so, you know, it was a nice gesture for them to give us some food.
And we'd like to also share some pre-dessert. Some of the cake that we have this morning, we thought you guys would enjoy some of that, so enjoy. From the North Camp to the South.
Oh, thank you so much.
South's nice guy act has paid off. North have handed over some of the chocolate cake won at this morning's challenge.
Down to 4 now, it's a lot more easy to trade and use a little bit of food. A little bit of food goes a lot further. And something special like that, you know. 270 marshmallows between 4 people. That's a lot of marshmallows.
All right, I'll see if these pink ones toast any different and taste any different than the white ones.
Frank has a tough choice for dinner. There's pink marshmallows or white marshmallows. Not quite meat and 3 veg, but it will do.
The days have been hard. Once we're into it, you know, once it's like in the heat of the battle, so to speak, then I guess, I don't know, adrenaline or some sort of instinct might kick in. But as far as it all goes, I'm pretty wary at this stage.
It's on fire, Frank. It's definitely on fire. Yes, it's the stick is on fire. Don't put it in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just
stick. How's that one?
Oh, yeah.
What's it taste like?
Oh, it does taste different, too.
As long as I get a little bit of food, I'll be okay. It's weird how much food affects your emotions, I tell you. Walking along today going, it's fine, I'm not going to cry because I'm so hungry. So we're just kind of fading big time and trying to keep happy, which is not easy.
This is what happens when you haven't eaten for a couple of days. You go, wow, that tastes so different.
I had a preconception that because we're all sort of supposed to be celebrities, we might have got a little bit more food, but and made it easier, but no way. The sun doesn't get any less hot, and the belly doesn't get any fuller on half a cup of rice between 4 people.
I'm sure most people would think that we'd cope just fine because I think most people think that we don't eat, but I, in actual fact, eat like a horse. So it's actually been really hard for me.
Trim model figure or not, Nikki cannot survive on so little food, and she now knows there is a way out of this place.
This is probably quite bad, but I know that if I try really hard to get all the questions wrong tonight, that it'll be me who goes. And it's so tempting, so tempting.
Yeah, I know Nikki wants to go. I think both of us are feeling a little bit like that at the moment. But then there's that whole competitive thing, you know, you kind of, we don't want to go because then there'd just be the 2 guys, and that would be far too easy and not fair. I think it'd be really interesting tonight if it were up to Nikki and I to compete to see who could do the worst in the test. That'd be interesting.
So in just a couple of days, the teams have turned from bitter rivals into caring, sharing companions. But the happy faces are about to fade as elimination is just around the corner, and 2 more of our treasure hunters will be heading home.
I'm definitely feeling like I'm ready to go home.
It's just a bit scary with all the spiders, and I certainly wouldn't want to be staying here on my own. I think I'd be absolutely petrified.
I am prepared mentally and physically to be here until the bitter end.
As the last of the sun goes down over the Pacific, the departure of another 2 contestants is only minutes away.
It's time to pack your bags, guys, and meet down at the elimination shelter. You've got 5 minutes.
It's the dreaded elimination process yet again. Who will go and who will stay occupies every mind on the island.
I think Anthony Ray may go tonight. He's been hanging in by the skin of his teeth the last couple of days. Yeah, I think he may go. I think it might be myself and the 2 girls tomorrow.
I'm really worried about Anthony Ray's ankle. I think that it's giving him a lot more problem than we realise. And you know, when you've got parts of you that are sore and hurting, it doesn't do anything for your concentration. So it may be the big guy.
My ankle's fine, doing great. I'm hanging in there. I guess if anyone has to go from our squad, I guess I would want Sally to go. It's really wearing on Sally, the fact that she's away from her children.
I'm more than happy to go home now to see my babies. I'll just have to wait and see what happens.
At South Camp, both men are feeling secure. They know that the women are vulnerable. They have witnessed their deterioration.
I do believe one of the girls, I'm not too sure which one, I'll just sit on the fence and say one of the girls. I think they've been finding it a bit harder as the time has passed.
I don't want to lose Bunsey at the moment. He's keeping me up there.
I'd probably say Nikki would quite like to go home. I would too. I would really like to have a shower. It's not a solar shower. You know, I want my little home things back.
I just feel like if I was to stay, I wouldn't be able to really contribute as much as I have on the previous days, just because I am so tired and worn out, and I'm sick of running around in wet shoes with blisters just aching the whole way, and getting heaps of cuts, and so yeah, I'm ready to go. So fingers crossed that tonight will be me.
There's a tradition on Treasure Island that every night, every competitor packs their bags. It's their sign of solidarity, and the competitors have been quick to learn that even the smartest can sometimes be stumped by the elimination test. Who will it be next? Tonight's elimination is a true or false computer test of your knowledge. You have 50 seconds to answer 10 questions. You may start. with every day that's passed, the lack of food and the physical exhaustion have made it harder to concentrate. Elimination time is tense. There's no way to study for this exam, and no one to help if the going gets tough. The 8 competitors are about to become 6. Everyone has a choice, either a slow boat home or another day of survival on Treasure Island. Treasure Island will soon be all over for 2 of the 8 survivors. Anthony, Ray and Nikki will leave the island.
Oh, no, I'm going to be on my own.
I know the boys will come. Guts today, big time.
The big man from the north is overcome with emotion. For the south, losing fashion model Nikki means losing their motivator, the woman who held them together when the going got tough. Anthony Ray gets to go home, back to civilization.
You were amazing.
I'd have to say the funniest vision I have in my head each time I think about this trip is Anthony sitting there covered in chocolate cake, all dripping down his face, all in his bandana, and just looking horrendous.
The boat awaits, it's leaving time.
I will run to the top of the mountain. Nikki and I grew quite close because for a while there we were the only 2 girls, and she's so much fun. I just loved. She's just a ball of energy, and I really enjoyed. And I'd love to see her again. She's an awesome woman.
Love you, brother.
What are you going to do with yourself?
What am I gonna do with 2 beautiful girls?
Today we saw the North and South teams go head-to-head on yet another week of Treasure Island, but the nature of the game sent Anthony Ray and Nikki home, leaving only 6 celebrities remaining to fight it out for the buried $20,000.
Now it's the mental side that's the greatest test. We will have to see if depressed minds can overcome starving bodies. Tonight's top scorers were Stacey in the north and Frank for the south.